folks, and unfortunately for the Democrats, it's not about Donald Trump. This is about Biden family corruption, plain and simple. And what really gets me is from just an individual and from an American to being an American is the fact that I disagree vehemently with most of our friends across the aisle when it comes to politics. I will submit that most folks that serve in Congress, whether they're Democrats or Republicans, are not corrupt. They're not on the make. They're not trying to enrich themselves. Hunter Biden is. The Biden family was. And so to sit here and defend a fella that doesn't merit that kind of defense is just interesting, and quite frankly, I find it sad as well. And I think he's a coward to come in here with this stunt, again, because, you know, you can define someone that's all about themselves by the way in which they act, and he clearly does that. That's what we're here to discuss. So let's talk about the process, because we've been told that, hey, he was here, he's ready to testify, just let him testify. For the American people, to make it very clear and digestible, when you are deposed in Congress, the majority gets an hour and the minority gets an hour, and it can go on indefinitely. So what usually happens is you can get 100 hours of questions in. You can go drill down. You can get into the efficacy of the procedure because you can go in depth, and you can hold whoever is the witness to account. If we have just public testimony, what happens here is we all get 5 minutes. Times roughly about 60 equals 300. Doing the math without a calculator, that's 5 hours. So instead of hundreds of hours, you only get 5. And witnesses are very good with their counsel to deflect and distract and answer really slowly, etc. That's why this is about procedure. 100 hours, 200 hours, and then we can come in to public testimony and ask questions about what we have read and make that public. So what I would have loved to, he was here, he left, unfortunately, because I would have loved to at least ask questions while he's in the room for the first time. I've never laid naked eyes on the man until just now. But I would have loved to have asked certain questions like, why did he feel special that he could evade paying taxes on millions of dollars of income? Why doesn't he pay it back? I know a lot of it is already outside of the statute of limitations, so he can't be prosecuted for it, but he can certainly still pay it back. That's a moral obligation that any American has. I'd like to ask him what he did, his company did, to earn $3.5 million from Yelena Baturina, who was married to a corrupt oligarch who used to be the mayor of Moscow. What did he do to have Kenish Razhikev from Kazakhstan wire him $142,300? The very next day he bought a Porsche. What did he do for Mr. Razhikev? What did he do? Did he get bribed, naked bribe, of $5 million by Mykola Zlochevsky? And did he have any experience in the energy sector prior to his father becoming vice president, because Zlochevsky paid him $1 million a year? Interestingly enough, the CFO of Burisma, Vedant Pazarsky, had dinner after he paid Hunter Biden millions of dollars, had dinner with his then sitting vice president dad at Cafe Milano. Did that happen? Because it seems like it did. Did Kenish Razhikev, who gave him, but essentially bought him the Porsche, he also had dinner with his dad. And yes, coincidentally, Yelena Baturina as well had dinner with his sitting vice president father at the time. Who I would also like to have asked him, having been an entrepreneur and business person myself, why create 30 shell companies if you have a legitimate business? What did your business do? What services did they provide? What goods did they sell? Who pockets seed money? I have never met anybody in business that pocketed seed money. It's the lifeblood of your venture. Why did you take millions from foreign entities? And who was the big guy? Mr. Hunter Biden, was it your dad? 10% for the big guy? When you said in that WhatsApp message that I'm sitting right here with my father, was your father really there? Will you give up your geolocations on your phone with your dad so we can determine if you guys were actually in the same room at that time? Why did you email your daughter or text her and tell her about, boy, I wish I didn't have to give 50% of my salary to dad? This all is just questions that under a deposition, when we have hundreds of hours, we could ask this. And I'm only one member of a committee of 60. I'm sure my colleagues would have plenty of questions as well. So this is what it's about. It's about justice. And think about who you're defending here. He's not worthy of your defense. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Gentleman yields. The chair recognizes Mr. Lynch for 5 minutes.